You may be seated. Enhancing the commercial landscape of St. Anne, fueling investments in the parish, driving commercial growth for national development. Good morning once again, and welcome to the groundbreaking ceremony for Boot 2 of ceremonies for this milestone event. Boot is a Jamaican business that can definitely be listed among the extraordinary companies that are on a growth path, building a momentum, and creating opportunities for the community and ultimately the nation. It really is truly wonderful to be part of this moment of the company's history as they take another decisive step to build and expand. This is a big moment for Boot and for the parish of St. Anne, and you know it's a big deal when our esteemed Prime Minister takes the time out of his busy schedule to be here, right? Not true? Good morning to you, our Prime Minister, Dr. the Most Honorable Andrew Holness. Let me also acknowledge the presence of the Minister of Water, Environment and Climate Change and Member of Parliament, Mr. Matthew Samuda, and his councillors in Northeast St. Anne. Wave at me if you're one of the 4 councillors, yes, here this morning. We also want to acknowledge the presence of His Worship, the Mayor of St. Anne, Councillor Michael Bell Navis, and other members of the Municipal Corporation. The Custos Rotalorum for the parish of St. Anne, the Honorable Joseph Issa, former custodes, Mr. Radcliffe Walters and Mrs. Norma Walters, General Manager of the Urban Development Corporation, Mr. Robert Honeygan, Managing Director of LHA Architects, Leighton Hamilton, our amazing hosts, the Booth family. Notice I said Booth. I had a conversation with Mr. Wayne Booth, the visionary leader of this family, and Mr. Booth gets what I get a lot because they say Simit instead of Smith. So he often gets Boot instead of Booth. Did I pronounce it correctly, sir? Booth? Very good, very good. Let me also acknowledge Reverend Dr. Waynford McFarlane from the Jamaica Methodist District, other specially invited guests, and of course, members of the media. These are indeed exciting times, not just for the Boot team and the Booth family, but also for Drax Hall and surrounding communities. Boot has made an impact, and they're on a mission to making an even bigger footprint on the commercial sector. Before we get into details of this very important project, we want to give thanks and to invite a blessing over this space. Please welcome Reverend Dr. Waynford McFarlane, who will offer prayers.
Let us pray. In the words of Psalm 34, I will bless the Lord at all times. His praise shall continually be in my mouth. My soul makes its boast in the Lord. Let the humble hear and be glad. O magnify the Lord with me, and let us exalt his name together. God, our provider, we acknowledge you as sovereign over all things, visible and invisible. You are creator, and you sustain all things by your almighty power. This morning, as we gather, we give you thanks for life, for your provision in nature, for blessing us with the resources that we need to make of life a nobler thing. We give you thanks for those who have used what you have blessed them with to create opportunities for others as they seek to enhance themselves. And it is to this end we commend to you the entrepreneurship of this Boot enterprise, giving thanks for your journey with them and their vision for what is yet to come. We continue to celebrate the ways in which you have used them to enhance the work and worth in this area. Thank you, God, for the inspiration that they have been to others. And we pray that that inspiration will continue through these proceedings this morning as we engage in this activity. So we pray a blessing upon them as they break ground to enhance this operation. We pray that the activities operated from this space be mutually beneficial to patrons and proprietors alike. We pray for an accident-free venture from construction phase to active delivery of this establishment. We ask that those who engage in the daily activities from this space do so out of a spirit of fairness, integrity, and honesty, and with the resolve to enhance the welfare of all concerned. And so, may this morning's event continue to lead us to hope, to dream. Bless us with your love and grace. Help us to be united in the things that are useful for building our community, promoting harmony and goodwill. And this we pray through Jesus Christ, our Lord. Amen.
Thank you so much for that, Reverend McFarlane, as he spoke about using the gifts that we have been given. I had a very good conversation with Mr. Booth this morning, and we talked about the Jamaica days, and you have come a long way, sir. So big up yourself. Give him a round of applause. It is remarkable when you see Jamaicans, our people, start with an idea, a vision, just a nugget, and then put faith behind it, because people think faith is hairy-fairy. Faith is believing that you can, and then putting in the work behind it. I tell people all the time, faith is a verb. It's an action word, yes? And Mr. Booth is one of those who has proven that you can because you believe. So congratulations to you and the Booth team. The full family is here this morning. Mrs. Booth and your gorgeous children. I see the resemblance. I see it. Under the strategic leadership of Mr. Booth, the team has expanded into lifestyle and service hubs that meet the needs of the community, as well as visitors and those who commute traversing this space. Investment and expansion are obviously important, but the ultimate vision is to provide convenient, accessible, high-quality petrol, supermarket, and lifestyle services that can make a meaningful impact across Jamaica. We know there are locations in St. Ann, Kingston, and you are known for being more than just fuel, I have to say. So we are moving now into looking at what will come next, Boot 2. And it really is an exciting, exciting project. I read the brief. Some very first world amenities are coming. Very excited about it. We love to see when we can stand head and shoulders with other countries in the world and prove that we are more than a developing country. In many ways, we are far ahead. Whether you live in this area or you're just passing through, there is no question about the value that this company has added to the landscape. I know they plan to take it even further. We're going to hear more about the details of that Boot 2 project. But first, we welcome the Mayor of St. Ann, Councillor Michael Belnavis, to bring greetings.
Good morning, everyone. Dr. the Most Honorable Andrew Holness, 1 p.m. It's not quite 1 p.m., but we know what we're talking about. the Honorable Matthew Samuda, my Member of Parliament, also the Minister of Water, Environment and Climate Change. We have with us Custos Rotolorum and Emeritus, Custos Joe Issa. We have with us, of course, Mr. Wayne Booth, a very distinguished gentleman. Only 15 years ago, you had just started out in business, right there in Otrius. Today, you're a multi-millionaire. It is indeed a great day, ladies and gentlemen. I want to welcome you all. We have so many developers here. We have individuals here from the various agencies. We have individuals from the municipal corporation. We have councillors here. And of course, we have a multitude of investors and realtors. It's a great morning. So as I stand here today, I'm really proud to be the mayor in this, what seems to be the best parish in Jamaica, because so much things are happening right here in St. Ann. And of course, along this coast, Drax, it is so imperative that we look forward to the major road repairs that the Prime Minister have announced, and he'll speak on it, I'm sure, later on, to kind of bring the synergies together between what the developers are doing and what the municipal corporation and what the government is doing to put the infrastructure in place to support this development as we look forward to this development right here in Drax. Infrastructural improvements, expanding tourism, and new investments are only reshaping our physical landscape, but also creating jobs, boosting entrepreneurship, and uplifting communities. This is more than just development. It is a renewal of hope and a change for us to build a stronger, more resilient economy for future generations. It always seems impossible, but it is done, according to Nelson Mandela, when it is done. Among the bold visionaries seeking this moment is Booth, Jamaica, and in particular, Wayne Booth and his family. As one of the forward-thinking franchises positioning itself as the forefront of this growth, Booth Jamaica recognizes that the North Coast is still in its infancy, and its overall development is really, when you think of just 8 years ago, you were the first developer along this stretch. You saw the vision, and of course, I know Mr. Sams did the rest. But the fact is that you led the charge. So it is your vision. By stepping in early, they not only capitalized on the new opportunities, but also settled the pace for others to follow. This presence demonstrates a kind of confidence, innovation, and partnership that will help for all to realize and recognize the full potential of this space. The benefits of this wave of developments are clear. Stronger local businesses, expanded local job creation, and greater support for families. It means better infrastructure, more attractive destinations for visitors, and new opportunities for young people to grow their skills and talents right here in St. Ann, and of course right here in the Drax area. Most importantly, it means building a North Coast that balances progress with preserving the rich heritage that makes this region so unique, the Garden Parish. As we look forward, let us continue to welcome innovators like Booth and Booth Jamaica, who will not only see what is possible, but are willing to invest in making it a reality. Together, we can ensure that the North Coast Rise is one of inclusive prosperity, sustainable growth, and shared success for all. Ladies and gentlemen, I want to welcome you, and I want to ensure that you have a great day, and at the end of the day, it's going to be fantastic. I understand that the Member of Parliament and the Costas bought the entire ground floor, but cash, it's going to be a great day. Thank you. Have a good one.
Thank you so much, Mr. Mayor. One of the major outcomes of a project like this is the way in which it will stimulate growth through job creation. As the Member of Parliament, our next speaker, is no doubt super excited about that aspect of this development and what it's going to mean for the people of this, not just this constituency, but this entire parish. Please welcome now the Minister of Water, Environment and climate change, and your Member of Parliament, Matthew Samuda.
Thank you, Madam Master of Ceremonies. Allow me to acknowledge and once again welcome back to Northeast St. the Most Honorable Andrew Holness, Prime Minister of Jamaica. And allow me to give special acknowledgement to Wayne Booth and indeed his family and the entire enterprise that is represented here, along with all of your partners. Allow me to acknowledge Custos Rotulorium Joseph Issa, indeed His Worship the Mayor Councillor Michael Belnavis, representatives of the St. Anne Municipal Council, members of the private sector, friends and guests all. What you see today is the living, breathing spirit of entrepreneurship in Jamaica. And nowhere is that playing out more than along this Drax Hall corridor, which sits just west of the center, geographic center of Northeast St. Anne, a community that is benefiting significantly from investments in commercial developments and significant investment in housing. But that is being supported by your government, which is why the spirit of entrepreneurship and the buoyancy that we all feel for the future in Jamaica can indeed come together in the way that it is and is evident in this corridor. It is being supported by your government at the local level with strong local oversight, certainly from the municipal council, but being significantly or benefiting significantly from significant growth in capital investment. We're seeing significant investment in water, a transformation in much of our sewage systems, and of course, no doubt the Prime Minister will speak to some of the larger investments being made in the road network, including what will be a boulevard directly ahead of me, and what will be the bypass and extension of the North-South Highway to the south. So that investment is unlocking significant commercial potential that no doubt Dr. Davidson is happy to see, because no doubt your membership is growing in the St. Anne Chamber of Commerce. And that is what we want to see. We want to see buoyancy in the economy. We want to see the sort of buoyancy that reduces the joblessness even further than the full employment that we have achieved. We want to see the sort of buoyancy that makes all of our stated ambitions for growth in the economy become a reality. And certainly in Northeast St. Anne, we want the investments to create the commercial environment that create the prosperity for our citizens that ensures that everyone lives and breathes Vision 2030 for Jamaica. I'm only here to bring you greetings as your Member of Parliament, but also to assure other investors here that we're actively scoping the increased need, or rather the investments that are needed to facilitate the increased demand for water in the area. We would have recently completed just over $200 million of pipe work from just right around here to Landover, so this corridor indeed has the transmission mains that are required. We're actively doing the engineering work on the Roaring River treatment plant and indeed the White River treatment plant, which kind of meet in the middle right here, that will facilitate the increased yield of approximately 5 million gallons of water along this corridor. So we assure investors that we're not playing catch up. We're building the capacity that allow Wayne and other stakeholders to continue to invest at unprecedented rates to ensure that prosperity is indeed achieved in Northeast St. Anne and its wider environs. Have a good afternoon and congratulations to the Booth family.
Boot began with one simple idea: to serve Jamaica better. Founded by a Jamaican family with a deep commitment to community, Boot started as a single gas station built on values of service and reliability. From the very beginning, the vision was bigger than fuel. The founders imagined a place where Jamaicans could find what they needed in one stop. That vision came to life in Ocho Rios, where the first Boot location showed that convenience could build connection. The model has been extended to Kingston with a dream for more. Here in Drax Hall, the story has evolved even further. The location became a hub for business, family, and everyday life, with a call center that employs hundreds, a pharmacy and supermarket that serve the community, and restaurants where people gather and unwind. the vision is moving to the next level. The newest chapter of Boot begins right here. A modern, 3-story commercial center featuring a standalone fast food restaurant, a full-service supermarket, entertainment spaces, and flexible offices for growing businesses. Connected by design, built for the future, and created for the people of Jamaica, this is Boot.
I know you can do better than that. Making strides and creating opportunities. I'm telling you, I am seriously rethinking my decision to stay in Kingston. I live in Kingston. But things are going down here, man. Whole heap of things. Don't it, Mr. Booth? Yes, it looks like things are really, really happening. And I am so happy to see that spirit of entrepreneurship that your MP talked about, that pride, that can-do attitude, and the way we can walk, because we can walk, as Jamaicans, We really know how to put our shoulder to the wheel. And once you do that, the results are almost always amazing. We definitely see that here, and I kind of have the feeling that we haven't seen anything yet, right? Our next speaker is building that Boot legacy, and she comes now to share the vision. Please welcome the lovely Boot CEO, Ms. Alexia Booth.
Good morning, Dr. the Most Honorable Andrew Holness, distinguished guests, members of the media, and everyone who has joined us for this momentous occasion. Thank you. My name is Alexia Booth, and it is my distinct honor to stand before you today representing my entire family and the Boot brand as we break ground in our newest and hottest location. I grew up in this business. It's all I know. And I can tell you that Boot has just never been a mere gas station. It's always been more. From the very beginning, my parents envisioned something far greater, something far better for Jamaicans. Their vision was simple yet profound. Why should Jamaicans have to travel from place to place for their daily needs? Why can't everything be in one place? One destination where you fuel your vehicle, purchase groceries, access healthcare, enjoy a meal, lime with your friends, do your banking, and yes, even find meaningful employment. We deliberately position ourselves and our locations at crossroads, geographically and symbolically. We plant ourselves where communities intersect, where travelers pause, where opportunity meets daily life. We become the hub that connects people to what they need when they need it. Our first location in Ocho Rios established the Boot concept and proved that Jamaicans were ready for this new approach to convenience and service. Then came Kingston, extending our model into the capital, serving residents and the millions of visitors who travel through our beautiful island. Drax followed, and what has emerged here speaks to the power of the Boot model. Today, this location is home to a thriving call center that provides employment to hundreds of thousands of young Jamaicans, soon to come, a pharmacy catering to the community's healthcare needs, a well-stocked supermarket, and restaurants where families gather and friends lime. Drax has become exactly what my parents envisioned, a true community hub. What we built here today represents the evolution of everything we have learned. At the heart of this development, and deeply symbolic to us, is the pedestrian bridge connecting Boot 1 across to Boot 2. This bridge represents connection, progress, and safe passage into the future. It's been about bringing people together, bridging the gap between what communities need and what they can access. This physical bridge embodies our commitment to creating pathways for growth, opportunity, and advancement. It says that we don't just build beside our communities, we build within. That has always been our way. This 68,000 square foot, 3-story architectural achievement designed by the acclaimed LHA architects takes this Boot concept to new heights. Boot 2 will feature a Wendy's franchise, a full-service supermarket with expanded offerings, entertainment facilities, flexible commercial spaces ranging from 700 to 15,000 square foot, and underground parking. Our development aligns seamlessly with the Government of Jamaica's road expansion plans for St. Anne. We will be responsible for beautifying and maintaining 0.8 kilometers of the four-way High Lane in accordance with the protocols of the National Works Agency and the local parish council. This section will feature modern illuminated bus stops equipped with Wi-Fi connectivity, ensuring that even our public infrastructure serves the community's evolving needs. We will transform the parish into a thriving economic corridor, where infrastructure meets opportunity, where progress is tangible, and where every Jamaican can see themselves in the future being built. Boot 2 will be the premier rest stop along this corridor, the first comprehensive service destination. Travelers will find respite here. Families will handle their shopping here. Young professionals will build careers here, and entrepreneurs will launch their ventures here, and we support it all. Everything in one boot is not merely our tagline, it's a covenant with the communities we serve. When government vision meets private sector action, real transformation happens. We affirm our commitment to generating substantial employment across the nation, contributing to the national agenda for job creation and economic growth. Our next location is Iron Shore in Montego Bay, expected to be open in 2026, with another location following in 2027. Each of our developments means more jobs, more opportunity, more progress. This is intentional growth that mirrors the government's dedication to developing every corner of Jamaica. In line with Vision 2030, we invest where it matters, create opportunities where they are needed most, and build the prosperous Jamaica we all envision, making Jamaica truly the place of choice to live, work, raise family, and do business. And through it all, we continue to remain true to what Boot has always stood for: everything you need in one boot. This milestone is the result of vision, partnership, and unwavering support from so many. Prime Minister Holness, your presence here today is deeply meaningful to my family and to the company. Your government's commitment to infrastructure development and creating an environment that enables Jamaican enterprises to flourish has been instrumental. The planned road improvements in Drax Hall demonstrate the kind of public-private synergy that drives real progress. Thank you for your leadership and for being with us here today. To my parents, the architects of this vision, you taught me that business at its best is about service to the community. Your courage to reimagine what service should be, your commitment to investing in Jamaica when others might have looked elsewhere, and your commitment to the nation and insistence on quality and in excellence. These values are the foundation of everything Boot represents, and I am truly honored to carry this vision forward. To LHA Architects, your design brilliance has truly given us a structure that captures the essence of the Caribbean while serving the needs of the community. To Colwell Banker Jamaica Realty, thank you for your partnership in bringing the right businesses and investors into this development. To Jackie Tyson and team, thank you for bringing this event to life. To the Hanan Fifth Construction Group, and to every contractor, consultant, partner, and team member who's contributed to this project, we thank you, in any language you prefer. To the residents of Drax Hall and throughout Tina and Jamaica as a whole, this is your development. The employment opportunities, the services, the convenience, all of it exists to serve you. We are privileged to continue to do business in this parish and on this beautiful island. To our Boot team across all locations, you're the reason our brand means something. Thank you so much for your dedication, your commitment, and your service. This is what transforms our visions into reality. Thank you all for bearing witness to this pivotal moment. Thank you for believing that Jamaican companies can set international standards. Today we break ground on Boot 2. Tomorrow and all the tomorrows to come, we continue building Jamaica, one community at a time. We declare that Jamaican entrepreneurship, Jamaican innovation, and Jamaican excellence can compete on any stage while remaining rooted in service to our own people. Thank you all, and may God continue to bless our nation.
I said when she go into the Mandarin a while ago, you needed to see Mama Bear around there. Nobody can talk to Mrs. Booth after today, Cha. Absolutely love to hear bright young women speak. It makes you feel like Jamaica's future is in good hands. Not true? All right. So we heard quite a lot about this Boot 2 project and the overhead connection and all of the wonderful and remarkable plans. There is a gentleman inside here, you see. He is to be blamed. He is responsible. Please let's welcome the Managing Director and Lead Architect, Leighton Hamilton of LHA Architects.
Thank you. Good morning, all. Let me first start with the acknowledgement. Prime Minister, Dr. the Most Honorable Andrew Holness, the Custos for the parish of St. Anne, Mr. Joseph Issa, the Minister of Water, Environment and Climate Change and Member of Parliament, Mr. Matthew Samuda. Where's Matthew? There you are. His Worship, the Mayor of St. Anne, Mr. Michael Belnavis, former custodes, Mr. Radcliffe Walters and Mrs. Norma Walters, the General Manager of the UDC, Mr. Robert Honnigan, friends, families, special guests. First of all, I'd like to say thank you for being here today. I don't know why I had to come after Lexi, but that's the way it is. Okay, just to give you a brief overview of the program, I want us to thank also the governmental agencies, the NWA, the NEPA, the Fire Brigade, St. Anne Municipal Corporation for their unbridled assistance in getting the project through. Firstly, I'd like to thank God for his presence here and the opportunity, to say thank you to the Booth family for the vision of the development and giving me the architectural freedom to design the project, or giving the firm the architectural freedom to design the project. We work with a solid team of consultants, Peter Jarvis and Associates, Duran Wright, engineers, Leighton Facey, MEP engineer, Davidson and Hanno, quantity surveyors. And the project is meant to be an iconic development as a gateway between Ocho Rios and Montego Bay, or Montego Bay and Ocho Rios. As Lexi said, it's connected by a pedestrian bridge from Boot 1 to Boot 2, and it is meant to encourage the movement of people in both directions. Now, the project is basically a twofold project where we have the realignment of the North Coast Highway from an eighth of a kilometer realignment of North Coast Highway, which has been approved by the NWA, and we have a mandate to ensure that that is done in synchronicity with the development that's taking place here. The main contractor, Henan Booth, they're seated right here. They are very competent in their ability to provide and mainstream the development in short order, and that is what we're looking for. So we're looking for the realignment of the commercial development with an 18-month project construction timeline between the realignment of the North Coast Highway and the development of this side of the project being Boot 2. Okay, what we sought to do is to deliver a contemporary solution to the requirements that Mr. Booth and family has. And I really have to say, I wait for the truck to go by. I really have to put it in the ballpark of the Booth family, because the Booth family, it's not Mr. Booth alone. Mr. Booth, Mrs. Booth, and the children have been very instrumental in guiding and developing the guidelines for the project. Okay, what we tried to do with this project now is to make a departure from the existing Boot 1 as Boot 1 and to make a contemporary solution for Boot 2 with the realignment of the intersections and the signaling of the re-signalization of the intersection that's about to happen here. Can I go through you floor by floor? Okay. What we're looking at here now is we have basically 200,000 square feet worth of superstructure with 2 floors of basement parking. So everywhere that you were sitting on right now would be 2 levels of basement parking. Can we go to the next plan? Okay, well, you all know where we are. This now, okay. What happens also is that we also have 4 floors and not 3 floors. Basically, we have the ground floor, which is, you're up on the 3rd floor. Can you go down to the ground floor? Well, let me just give you the broad overview. Basically, the ground floor, we have realigned the entrances to Booth 1 and Booth 2. We have a standalone fast food restaurant over in this side, which would be Wendy's. Then we have ground floor, which is a supermarket, and 2 retail shops. Now, the ramp, curved ramp, provides access to the both levels of the basement levels, parking. Then we jump up to the 2nd floor, which is a food court. The food court is then linked, like I said, via the overhead bridge to Booth 1. So on the 1st floor, we have food court and retail shops. On the 2nd floor then would be professional offices, a series of professional offices. And then on the 3rd floor, so we actually have 4 floors. On the 3rd floor is meant to be cinemas, two cinemas, and additional retail stores and maybe a fine dining restaurant. And all covered with, as Mr. Booth likes to use these solar arrays to cover his roofs, so we get the benefit of as much green passive solar energy as possible. Okay, this perspective is basically coming from the Ocheria side as we enter the development here. This porte cochere would be additional retail stores above, and so we come in under the porte cochere right here, and then we wrap around to the ramp parking as it goes down to the basement. Now, what we want to do is to create a contemporary solution that addresses the needs of the building in terms of the views to the sea, the views to the hills, being a gateway from Ocherios, as we said before, from Ocherios, as I said before, and to Montego Bay, and just establishing a presence, a physical presence in the Drax area to reestablish Booth in both sides of the road. This is another perspective from This is another perspective from the main road. So basically, this is the connection that takes us over the North Coast Highway. This would be the Wendy's standalone. This lower section would be the supermarket. This 1st floor section would be food court. This 2nd floor section would be professional offices. And then the 3rd floor up here would be cinemas and movie theaters. And then to the far right side now would be also, this is all retail, fine dining, retail, and as it goes down over the ramped area. This is just another perspective from the other end, coming from the Montego Bay side, the porte cochere, drop-off, supermarket, and so on. We think that the development of this project is going to be an iconic statement in this area, and we look forward to your support and your guidance with this project, and we thank you for your assistance. You guys have a good day.
Thank you so much, Mr. Hamilton. Wow, is all I can say. It looked good, not true? It really, really does look good. And I know that there are persons in the audience. I know there is one tenant already, Wendy's. I believe Mr. Myers is here from Restaurants of Jamaica. Can't wait, not true? Looking forward to it. As of course would Dr. Ransford Davidson, President of the Chamber of Commerce, is also looking forward to it. And indeed, you know, we're all excited about what it will look like and, you know, that iconic nature of it, that statement piece that it will be in the space. I think it was Lexi who described it as a comprehensive service destination, right? And I mean, We certainly want to see that kind of impressive development. What is clear, though, is that good things are happening not just in this parish, but in Jamaica, and we have to really grab a hold of that and move with it. We all heard a remarkable inauguration speech mere weeks ago from our newly sworn in Prime Minister, and he said something that really resonated with me, PM. You said we have only scratched the surface of Jamaica's intense potential. We are destined for more. Our people are too talented, our culture too rich, our geography too strategic, and our history too proud for us to stop short of greatness. I absolutely love that. It really captures that kind of vision and passion for us to move forward. And best believe it, sir, I plan to quote you. Yes. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome our Prime Minister, Dr. the Most Honorable Andrew Holness.
Thank you very much, Madam Master of Ceremony, Stacey Ann, for your usual good mastery of the ceremony and proceedings. May I also thank the Reverend Dr. Wayne McFarlane for leading us in prayers. Your Member of Parliament told me that he could not miss this for the world. I know he should be somewhere else, but he has decided to be here, which signals the importance of this development, not for his ministerial position, but for his position in Parliament. So I understand, Minister, why you are here. His Worship, the Mayor, Michael Belnavis, and your team from the Municipal Corporation, the Honorable Joseph Issa, the Mayor said that you were both Custos Rotolorum and Custos Emeritus. I don't know if you can be both at the same time. Okay. So I misquoted you then. And of course, allow me to acknowledge the man of the moment, Mr. Wayne Booth, our host and managing director, and his daughter, Alicia, who spoke, Alexia. And of course, our architect, Mr. Leighton Hamilton. It gives me great pleasure to join you this afternoon to break ground for the construction of Booth 2, a modern service complex which will become the hub of this area and will redefine the experience that residents and visitors have along the North Coast. Today is about the continuation of a vision, a Jamaican vision for growth, for innovation, and self-reliance. I met Mr. Booth somewhere around 2019, or maybe before that, maybe about 2017. But in 2019, I had 2020 almost, I believe it was, 2020. I visited at that time you were just doing the development for IBEX, if I recall. But it was right during the period of COVID. And I was questioning the wisdom of his intense investment at the time. And I recall in the tour, he said to me that he was serious about Jamaica. He is going to invest in his country. I was taken by his very high level of patriotism and optimism about his country. And here we are today, making another major investment. I accepted the invitation to participate in the groundbreaking because it is important to signal to the country that the investments that are taking place are not only or always led by our established investors. There are many, I would like to term them new investors emerging, a new class of entrepreneurs emerging in the country who are driving the growth of the country, who see themselves as part of the vanguard of development. And I see Mr. Booth as a leader in that new class of investors in Jamaica. And I want to identify, associate, and encourage these new investors who understand that the environment in which the government has created economic certainty, a proper regulatory environment, an environment where they can get access to credit, that they must take advantage of this environment and not necessarily sit by and wait for development to happen to them. That they must take their capital, they must take risks, they must be entrepreneurial, they must be prospecting, they must find the opportunity, and they must create wealth. And I therefore took the opportunity to participate in this groundbreaking because I wanted to highlight Mr. Booth as one such Jamaican, part of this new vanguard of investors in our country who are locally based, locally grown, people who have made themselves and are making and creating wealth, not just for themselves and their family, but for the hundreds of people they employ and the thousands of people who will benefit from using the service that they provide. The second reason for accepting the invitation to speak here today is that so often we get complaints about this corridor. This corridor was improved maybe 20 years ago to carry a certain volume of traffic. The last time I received a report from NROC, I am told that the improvement that happened 30 years ago to take a certain volume of traffic, that today the volume of traffic is at least twice what the improvement could carry. Meaning that the current roadway does not have the capacity to carry the volume of traffic today, and in fact, the volume of traffic that is projected. So it means that there has to be significant investments in improving this road corridor. Now, when the investment was done to improve this road corridor more than 20 years ago, the idea was to create a highway. Indeed, that's what it was, a highway. But what has happened since? Drax and communities along the corridor would have started to develop a particular energy. That's the term I like to use. A particular energy. An energy for urbanization. And that has come because of a confluence of several developments, which, though planned, they were not coordinated. So, for example, along this corridor, there are several major housing developments. They're all planned. They meet the development orders. The parish councils would have approved them. But they bring a certain level of traffic. And the residents that are created would require a certain level of service. We've developed the North-South Highway that brings Kingston closer to Ocho Rios. So persons' decisions about where they should accept employment and how often they come and visit Ocho Rios or transact business between Montego Bay and Kingston would have increased the flow of traffic. And then there are several hotels that have been developed along the corridor. And then we notice as well that there are several commercial developments taking place along the corridor. So technically, what is happening on both sides of the corridor is the emergence of almost what I would call a new urban space that could very well emerge into a new town, a new urban center maybe, a new commercial zone. But clearly, the roadway in its present form cannot serve the new and emerging needs of this urbanized and commercial district that is emerging. So what we have to do is to acknowledge and incorporate the developments that already exist and plan for the developments to come, but to do it in a way that is future-proof, meaning that the decisions that we take today will accommodate the developments of the future without need for reworking or without limiting the potential of the future because of what we have built today. So what we have decided to do, one, we can't have a road that is playing two roles, because a highway dissecting urbanized commercial area is going to eventually function more as a local road than as a highway. I think they have a name for it. They call it a stroad, a combination of a street within a town and a roadway almost like a highway. It just doesn't function because of the number of ingress and egress activity onto the road. So every time someone drives in off the roadway, traffic slows, and every time someone drives out of a development onto the road, traffic slows, and every time pedestrians have to cross, traffic slows. So the highway that we have just can't be a highway anymore because of the level of commercial and other activities that is running along the corridor. So we have taken on some of the best development advice that we can get, that is being led by the IFC, and we are now doing a design for this road, taking into account that there is this organic energy for an urban space. And we want to promote that. Urban spaces are important to quality of life. Very important, actually, to quality of life. Very important to the efficiency and ease of doing business. Very important to our health and the protection of the environment, and very important to the productivity of the country. So we want to promote the development of urban spaces. So what we're going to be doing is building more of what could be termed as a boulevard. So this roadway, this corridor, particularly the section that is passing through Drax and other areas where we're seeing this intense urbanization, will be more of a boulevard. We note that this development will have a sky bridge connecting the two properties. I made sure to ask Mr. Booth. I should have asked the architect as to whether or not the designs have had the benefit of the future plans. And I have been told yes, but for certainty, when I go back to my office, I will call the entities just to ensure that what we are doing is future-proof. Because I wouldn't want the development to be happening in the future, and then there are some design issues. So seeing that I am speaking at the groundbreaking and having knowledge of it, I will call in the entities to be certain. And indeed, it may very well be, because of how the development has evolved, that we may have to have several of these sky bridges to connect the urban space. Usually, in where we have to do these kinds of development and boulevards, we would put in place the proper signals. We might have grade separations and so forth to accommodate the cross movement of vehicular and pedestrian traffic. But all of that will be considered. Another thing which we have to consider when we are doing these kinds of urban development is noise pollution. And I'm saying this not because I'm being interrupted by several heavy vehicles passing. And indeed, I noticed that the architect lost his train of thought when one of those noisy vehicles passed. But I'm saying this because when we are doing our urban planning, we don't always take into consideration some of these issues, which ultimately reduce the benefit and welfare of the people who will occupy these spaces. We are seeing this challenge with, for example, hotels that were built many years before the highways were created that run before them, and there is noise pollution. Hospitality and noise pollution can't work. You're having this lovely facility, you're going to be having fine dining and, BPO operations. A noisy environment and these kinds of activities don't go together. So there has to be a kind of design consideration when we are making these developments. And I'm certain that the architects can put in place certain measures to dampen the noise. And we at the NWA and NROC, we certainly will have to consider the kinds of materials and whatever technologies that are available to dampen the sound of the tire and the asphalt. So we are going to be looking into all of that, and I encourage the developers here to build in the necessary buffers to dampen and reduce the noise pollution. But having said that, there has to be better traffic management because certain vehicles that are emitting certain decibels of noise should not be allowed in certain zones. And so there has to be stronger enforcement of noise control zones. But apart from that, apart from the development of this corridor, we will be extending the north-south highway. So the people of this area and those who traverse from Kingston to Montego Bay will have another option of an extended toll road, which will extend the existing north-south highway, which will go, I believe, very close to the parish border, to Trelawney. So there will be 2 corridors that the commuting public will have. And that in itself will open up new lands for development, support the natural energy here. So effectively, what may very well happen in the next 10 years is this area will become the magnet for business and other urban development. And then we will have to be thinking very carefully, how do we then rationalize between St. Anne's Bay here and Ocho Rios? So effectively, the new center of economic activity, which will be better planned, more efficient, more conscious of the environment, delivering a better quality and standard of living. This area will become the commercial magnet, and we hope that that will then give an opportunity for the redevelopment and rebirth of Ocho Rios and St. Anne's Bay, where we could take advantage of the old charm, of the smaller streets, of the more intimate setting, to utilize them for greater tourism and lifestyle products. So we are thinking in a very comprehensive and strategic way about the spatial and social development of the area, taking into consideration urban development. So I'm here, Mr. Booth, to also bring to the attention of the people in St. Anne that your government is working in very strategic ways. You may not always see it, because every time there is a blockage on the road, there is a call that we must do something about the road. But no matter what I say, that yes, something is being done about it, the only time that people believe it is when they see the backhoe or the excavator on the road. But I want to just assure the public that in how we do things now is that we don't put the backhoe and the excavator on the road and then we develop the plan or decide where the alignment is to go or do the consultations with the public. No, we take at least 2 years of development work before we turn any soil. And we are now in that phase of doing the development work. The IFC is our partner in the development on this corridor, and China Harbor is the development partner for the extension of the North-South Highway, and they are now currently doing their plans. The extension of the North-South Highway will be done in phases. It will have 2 legs. The first phase and the first leg is to extend from where the current North-South Highway ends to bypass this area via toll road. And then the second leg is to connect from where the road currently ends to bypass Ocho Rios. So we're going to ensure that there is efficient traffic flow and connectivity for this area. This area will definitely become the new center of urban development for the parish of St. Anne. So Mr. Booth, you are ahead of the game by putting your stake in early. But I close my presentation to you by noting that this development, my estimate, Mr. Booth, is that you will be probably spending about $1.5 billion to do this development. When I speak with contractors and developers, they are not so much complaining about financing these days. There are some that have financing challenges, but you know, financing is available. What they do complain about is the availability of skilled labor. It is a real challenge, a real problem. I noticed that you have taken on a well-experienced developer, and I'm of the view that you should not have any significant challenges and delays. But I would suggest as well that when you're doing your project, that you get in touch with the Heart Trust NSTA and in parallel work with them to train some of the labor that you will take on. Not just in skills, but in attitude as well. Because that would be of supreme benefit to the society generally to have persons trained, but it will be of benefit to you in the future, because I'm certain that this is not going to be your last project. And the investment that you make in the labor force is likely to yield great results as you continue in business. So I want to recommend this to you, and indeed to the contractor Henan Fifth, that you should work in parallel with the Heart Trust NSTA to train the unskilled labor that you may take on, so that they are available to you in the long term, but it is also of supreme benefit to the society to have them trained. So with these brief remarks and a reiteration of my commendation to Mr. Booth for being part of this new vanguard of investors who are exhibiting real confidence in the Jamaican economy, who are taking risks, not just to create wealth for themselves, but for their employers and all who benefit from the service they provide. I wish to commend you and your family, and I wish for you a successful project, a completion on time and in budget. God bless you, and thank you.
Thank you so much, PM. It's always a pleasure to be in the same space with you, sir. And I promised her that she would get to take a picture with you, sir. I beg you, please don't flop my show. Please and thank you, sir. We're going to be moving in just a few moments to execute the actual groundbreaking. I'll indicate the persons who are going to be moving over to that space shortly. But first, an invitation from the Boot team for all you, their very special guests, to stay for a little while after the ceremony is completed. They have provided refreshment for you. Always very good, I promise you. So if you can, stay a little bit to mingle, perhaps do a little bit of networking. Thank you all so much for joining us for this official groundbreaking exercise. I now invite the Prime Minister, Dr. Holness, along with Minister Samuda, Mr. Booth, Mr. Hamilton, and the representative from Henan Fifth, Ms. Alexia, the CEO. Please also join the team to my right, to your left. They are going to provide you with the proper gear, and we will get that groundbreaking, that ceremonial activity completed. Of course, members of the media will want to capture this. I keep saying, ladies and gentlemen, in 2025, you don't capture the right video and footage, it never happens. It's not true. In this day and have to make sure that you capture it properly. So while they do that, ladies and gentlemen, you can begin to partake in the wonderful refreshment provided by Ms. Jackie Tyson and the team. And let me just wish for you a productive day, a safe and restful weekend.
Sorry.
All right, so lady and gentlemen, you can follow the PM's lead because he's an expert at this groundbreaking. So he will give you the direction and you just follow his lead.
Ready? Shovels in hand.
Yes.
Ensure that you have a proper heap on the shovel. Hold it up and give the biggest smile that you can.
Look at the cameras when you're smiling.
All right. And we're going to turn to the right on my count. But when we're turning to the right, we're going to drop the shovel at the same time. So we minimize dust. Everybody ready now? All right, turn to the right.
And there you have it. I told he's an expert, you know, you just follow his instructions.
Close to about my 100 groundbreaking.
Alrighty, another round of applause for the groundbreaking of Boot 2. Thank you so much, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Stacey Ann Smith. Do have a wonderful rest of the day and a safe weekend.